Hi, I'm Wine Guy Ty. Welcome to the Barrel Room. Here in Van City for the annual Top Drop event is my guest, Filipe Ferreira. He is the owner and winemaker of Quinta da Foz in Douro, Portugal. Bom dia.
Bom dia.
So, just a little background on Top Drop's focus and mandate in case you missed the last podcast, to provide a platform for terroir-influenced handcrafted wines and the people behind them. That's their mandate. Its focus is on wines of integrity, honest wines, and telling their stories. And this year, it's featuring 40 plus terroir-driven wineries with 45 exhibitors, including Argentina, Chile, Canada, and the USA, France, Italy, Spain, Portugal, Georgia, Lebanon, Australia, and Greece. And truly top-drop terroir-focused producers from all across the globe. So, just before we get rolling here, I just want to draw your attention really quickly to my last interview with Nikos Zakaras. I think you might have met him yourself.
Yes,
from Kiriani. We had an amazing talk of Kiriani and all of what's going on with his wineries and wines, and as well as covering all of the history of Greek wine. We only had about half an hour, so we really couldn't cover absolutely everything, but it was a really lovely and engaging conversation. If you like Greek wine or that sounds of interest to you, please head over to the podcast and have a listen. Today, though, we're talking about all things Portugal, and I'm happy to have you here from Quinta da Foz. The definition is river mouth, so the junction of the Piau and the Douro rivers is with a winery that dates back to 1872, founded by the Calem family.
Calem family, yes.
Calem family. In 2014, a decade ago, you came in from Douro.
Yes.
And saw plenty of potential for the emblematic Quinta and took it over.
Yes.
I am told you are energetic, passionate, and innovative, and the winery has now become a benchmark for the region. So Congratulations. Just a little bit of history about the winery. 20 hectares under vines over 80 years old.
It's true.
So, over 30 autochthonous indigenous varietals planted, predominantly though Touriga Nacional, Touriga Franca, and Tinta, Roriz.
Yep.
What's it like after 10 years of developing your wines and program? Maybe take me back to when you found it and what place it was in to where and what your vision was.
So Quinta da Foz is a very old state. Is founded by Calem family. Is at the beginning Quinta da Foz is the center and only produce port wine. Then when we bought Quinta da Foz, we changed a little bit and start only doing red and white table wine because it's more easy and not more easy, but you can start selling the production the next year and you can make some profit to develop the winery, the land, to some new construction and to increase the company. We have so many dreams to do in Quinta da Foz. We do new things. We create the 1072 label is our creation. And we create Quinta da Foz Grand Reserve and Reserve label also.
And those are going to be at the festival. We'll talk about the wines in a little bit, but I want to go back a little bit. The Douro is a UNESCO World Heritage
Yes, it's the first wine.
It was designated in 2001, and it has a 2,000 plus year history of winemaking tradition. So what I think what listeners might want to understand is what sets apart the wines, or particularly the table wines of the Douro, from other established regions in Portugal.
Because Douro is, I think, is the first one of the first wine region in the world. In the Douro, we have the old vines, and it's very old vines, and all the best Douro wine is field blends. Is a blend, is a mix of grapes. So we have wine is made by Touriga Nacional, Tinta, Roriz, Touriga Franca, Sauzão, different grapes. Is a mix, so we can mix what the Touriga Nacional grape gives to the wine, what Touriga Franca gives to the wine, what Tinta Roriz give. So at the end, we have a great wine. And with the vines, with the age that they have, so they have the capacity to have a year that rain a lot or no rain, and or the temperature is increase or decrease, because the vines, they are balanced, that they have already a balance that, okay, I'm good and I produce every year the same quality no matter what's happening with the weather.
Yeah.
This is the definition of the old vines.
Yeah, old vines are so fascinating because they are more delicate than...
Yes,
than
but
really
the production
wines.
is very low. Is a big problem.
Right. The Kingdom of Portugal was established somewhere in the 12th century and then became an important exporter of wine. In the West here, though, until fairly recently, its association has always been with port wine and fortifieds. Was there an influence from Porto and port wine production in the early years in what was first being crafted, or has Quinta da Foz always been focused on table wines?
At the beginning, with Calem family, and at the beginning, Douro only produced port. But 25 years ago, some state start produce table wine, and the result start be good, the revenues start be good, and most states start doing table wine, because the port wine is a tough business, because you need to keep much of our production every year, and only the big companies have space and structure to keep all the wine, and the small state like us, Quinta da Foz, is more fascinating and more funny produce table wine than port wine. We also produce port wine, but small quantity. You produce to like 2,500 liters of port wine every year. This is a small quantity.
So what challenges do you face these days with owning and running a winery in 2024?
It's complicated because the consumer decrease of wine, and
I mean, just in general, wine consumption is
decreased.
Yeah,
the life is the people don't have money.
Yeah, I'm sure there's other challenges as well. We talked a little bit with Nikos about global warming and how that's affecting the grape growing and harvests in,
for example,
in
global warming, as I told at the beginning, to us Douro, we have old vines. For us, it's not a problem, because the old vines, they already resist everything.
That's come before in every harvest. So.
But each year we start early. We start early. Why? Because if you want to have a good juice, you need to start. Last year we started 10 of August. But for example, if you want to produce port, we want less juice, more sugar. So if you want to produce port, you're gonna harvest, for example, in end of September, depending on what you want to do with the grapes.
Mm. So vines have been planted on the Iberian Peninsula since antiquity.
Yeah.
And the Romans made the juice along its banks during their long occupation. I was thinking, what we're so familiar with these days, including port and the table wines, what would those wines have been like? What do you think would they have been characterized by? How would they taste?
Oof, nice question.
Haven't you imagined? What came before?
I think at the beginning the wine is like vinegar, vinaigrette wine. It's not like nowadays. But
and of course, as you know, or at least as we understand it, they used to use herbs and sometimes put honey into wine to sweeten it, but they didn't have the understanding and obviously not the technology that we have today to make quality wine.
They don't have the temperature control. They don't have the hygiene control. The wine is passed to vinegar. But it's the beginning. And nowadays, every year, we learn something different about to do better wine in the cellar. But most important is the grapes. Always is not what you can do in the cellar. The most important is always the grape.
So let's talk just briefly here about the wines that you've brought along to Top Drop. You mentioned you have a couple of wines, a reserve wine as well. So
yes, we have 3 big brands. We have Quinta da Foz brand, is our entry level. Is a wine we made with young vines, and we don't use barrel, only do everything in the steel tanks to have the expression of the grape and to be a easy wine to drink every day.
Do you use lagar as well?
Yes. For example, to do the Quinta da Foz, we use inox lagars with automatic filter.
Yeah.
But then you go to Quinta da Foz brand, is old vines, is in granite lagars, and we push the grapes with our feet.
And this is a tradition.
Yes, very traditional.
Yes. And you involve the whole family and friends.
Yes, everybody.
Everybody comes.
It's a tough work, but it's very nice, and it's a good work, and is made very well to the skin.
Oh yes, I'm sure it was. Yeah.
And Quinta da Foz then do the malolactic in the French oak.
French oak
for aging.
For reserve. Yeah. How long does your reserve wine stay in?
18 months.
18 months before bottling.
And the Grand Reserve, 24 months.
So, obviously, this is your first time to Vancouver?
No, in Vancouver, no. In this event, yes. But I came because Portugal have an organization, is named Vini Portugal, who help the company to export. And they already came to Vancouver. And I came one time with Vini Portugal.
Oh, interesting. In terms of the actual event for Top Drop this week, what would you say to listeners? What is the thing you want people to learn about Quinta da Foz? What is the thing that you are most excited to share?
I think most important nowadays to Portugal, the most important is to people know what is Portuguese wine and where is Portugal. Then what is Douro wine, and then what is Quinta da Foz wine. Yeah. Because I think is the most important. First, what is Portugal? Compare with the Italian or Spanish wines is more difficult. In the city, I think we don't have any Portuguese restaurant here.
There's really not many as such, no.
So to the people have Italian or Spanish restaurant, and when they go to restaurant, it's more easy. I came to a Greek restaurant, I have Greek wine. Yeah. I go to the Spanish restaurant, I have a Spanish wine.
So what would you say if we had a Portuguese menu in terms of, for instance, the red wines? What is your favorite kind of traditional pairing? Our
food is a very strong food. Is no relation to English to French. His name is a very Portuguese name. All Douro red wines is very good with a very good steak. To barbecue is very good. Because they are elegant wines with finesse, long palate. It's very good with good steak.
Let's talk about...
And you have also whites and roses to Vancouver area. It's good with oysters.
The whites in particular, good with oysters, partly because of that mineral quality and a little bit of salinity. So let's talk just briefly about the grapes, Touriga Nacional, Touriga Franca, Tinta, Roriz. What characterizes them? How would you describe them?
We have at Quinta da Foz, until now, we have a partnership with the university in Portugal, and we discovered until now in Quinta da Foz 32 different grapes. But most of the blend, the grape, are Tinta, Touriga Nacional. Nowadays is the most important red grapes in Portugal. Some people want to try to change the name to Touriga Portuguese Touriga, because when you think of France, everybody have a name, like Cabernet, to Napa, to South Africa.
That sounds perfectly fine. Touriga Portuguese or something. Why not?
But until now, no change. And it's very floral in the nose. It's a very good grape. When you put in the glass and when it smell open, it's very floral. Mm-hmm. Then we have the Touriga Franca. It's better in your palate. It gave the freshness and the acidity. Then we have the Tinta Roriz. It's same like Tempranillo. It's same name.
It's the same as Tempranillo.
It's same grape, and it's very smooth in the palate. Then we have more Sauzal. They have a very color. It's a very dark color. Then you have many.
So it really is always...
It's a balance.
It's always about the blends of...
Yes, it's a blend. It's
the play together.
The definition of old vines is a mix of grapes, because when the people plant the grapes, for example, they plant here Touriga Nacional all together. Everything all the work is by hand, no machines, yes. Old vines.
So it's not mechanized.
No, everything together. But Touriga Nacional here, Tinta Roriz here, Sauzal here, Touriga Franca, then again Touriga Nacional, and in some parts with white grapes, because at the beginning, 1 year at the beginning when the vines are young, if it's a warm year, for example, some grapes don't like it, so the production this year from Touriga Nacional is bad, but the rest is good. The next year, for example, they rain a lot. Some Tinta Roriz don't like the water, so this year the production from Tinta Roriz is lower, but the rest is high. So at the end,
year and
the harvest is the same every year.
But things will obviously influence that.
Yes.
And so the percentages will change.
Yes, but
the idea is always to create a beautiful harmony and balance.
Yes. It's the definition of old vines.
Well, it all sounds lovely, and I can't wait. I believe you're involved in a master class tomorrow
at 9
presenting.
Yeah.
So we will taste those wines tomorrow, and I truly look forward to that. I hope you have a great week ahead. I know it's going to be busy. You're going to meet all kinds of restaurateurs and somms that you can share your wines with. And I just would say that I hope you really enjoy the festival. And I so appreciate you taking this time to be with me here in the Barrel Room. Really nice to get to know you and to understand a little bit more about what's going on in the Douro these days, and to have your representation here in Vancouver. I will share all of the details for the winery, as well as all of the necessary links in the description for the podcast. And I would say obrigado.
Obrigado. Thank you so much. Thank you.
You've been listening to The Barrel Room, and I'm Wine Guy Ty. If you like this content, remember to heart this episode. It really does help the algorithm, and you can also subscribe to this podcast for the low price of free, so you don't miss another future drop. Fun fact, if you hit the share button and copy link, many more humans can join us here as I raise my glass to you. Find The Barrel Room on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, iHeartRadio, and nearly anywhere else you get this type of content. As always, I appreciate you tuning in today. If you or someone interesting from the world of wine you know would like to be considered for an interview live in the Barrel Room, please reach out through your app or direct message me on IG at WineGuyTy. Remember, the best wines are those shared with friends. Let's share my next drop together. Cheers, santé, and salut.